Welcome to TLDW. Today we continue with part 2 of Mediacorp's thriller Mencari Marina. Quick recap of part 1, Sophie, a freelance journalist, has taken on the task of writing Latifa's memoir, a psychologist convicted of murder. She needs money to support her cancer-ridden dad. After many dead ends from Latifa's previous contacts, she finds herself an ally in Tasha, a social media star who thought she was Latifa's daughter Marina. But plot twist, she's not. Now on with part 2. Sophie's dad has unfortunately lost the battle to cancer. Sophie's mom suggests that they return to the UK to fulfill her dad's final wish, but Sophie feels the need to finish her job first. It would also distract her from her loss. Sophie heads to the hospital to settle the bills, but Rashid, her dad's old friend, beats her to it, claiming that he's owed her dad a lot. Sophie continues her search for Marina. The clues lead Sophie back to Tasha's old orphanage. Tasha distracts the staff while Sophie snoops about the cabinets and finds herself a new lead, Zafira binti Nordin, an orphan who shares the same name as Latifa's late husband, Nordin. Sophie believes she might have changed her name to stay hidden. The two take the lead to social media. Perhaps they can find Zafira there. Pretty sure this is borderline illegal, just doxing someone off of information they stole, but let's just go with it. As they chill about after the podcast, Sophie finds an article proving Uncle Rashid to be Latifa's brother-in-law. She meets up with Uncle Rashid again and asks about Latifa, but he dodges her questions, distracting her with his sob stories on being a supportive family man. After the meeting, Rashid begins to act suspiciously, always on his phone as though he's hiding something. His wife immediately notices his change in behavior and starts to worry if he's cheating on her. Back home, Sophie's mom is getting impatient. She gives Sophie an ultimatum. Whether or not she accomplishes her memoir, they're returning to UK by the weekend. Sophie's on a timer now. Luckily, through Tasha's podcast, they found a new lead, Zafira. Zafira's likeness to Latifa is uncanny. Her appearance, interest in psychology, and even personality. Sophie's almost certain she's found her, though Zafira denies any ties. So, Sophie suggests she do a DNA test to confirm. Meanwhile, Rashid's wife Nora, while cleaning one day, finds a false wall on the shelf, which hides a sealed letter with documents pertaining to Marina's adoption. Nora immediately calls Sophie to inform her of her discovery, and that indeed Marina has changed her name, but Zafira is not the girl she's looking for. Marina's current name now is Ira Sophie. Yes, this Sophie! Sophie is overwhelmed by the sudden truth bomb, and now, with even more reason to figure out the truth to the story, she goes back to Latifa's ex-prodigy for questioning. Latifa's prodigy spills the tea. The day after the murder of her husband, Latifa sought refuge in her house. 1, to figure out what to do, and 2, to perform a memory-erasing hypnosis on Marina. A technique Latifa had developed that allows her to erase memories on kids who've suffered from traumas. Shortly thereafter, Latifa is arrested at her house, and Marina suddenly goes missing. The only hint to Marina's whereabouts was that she heard Latifa talking to someone to send Marina away, but by then, the prodigy had already turned Latifa in. It was also revealed that the prodigy seized the opportunity to fulfill her motive of taking Latifa's research as her own. Suddenly, Farid gets a phone call from Latifa asking to see Sophie. This is the first time this has happened. Sophie arrives at the prison and it triggers a flashback. She's arguing with her biological father. She doesn't want Uncle Rashid to take care of her because Uncle Rashid had molested her. But her dad couldn't believe it and thinks she's fabricating stories. Back at the prison, Latifa is singing lullabies to Sophie. She knew Sophie was Marina all this time and is attempting to hypnotize her again. Only this time, it doesn't work. Latifa believes that she was protecting Sophie, which Sophie finds ridiculous because all she did only got Marina into even more danger, closer to perverted Uncle Rashid. You know, all this time, all of this could have been avoided if Marina's parents had just trusted her for once. Sophie recounts her now regained memories. The day of the incident, young Marina sees an unknown lady in her house looking anxious and disarrayed, so she assumes her father was being naughty like her uncle. Triggered by the experiences, young Marina goes into a trance, picks up a sharp object nearby and stabs her father, killing him. Little did Marina know that the lady was actually just another one of Rashid's flings and her father was trying to help her. But little too late, as Latifa returns to see her daughter's hands bloodied. She had only one solution in mind, to take the crime upon herself and save her daughter from this trauma. Sophie now knows her father was innocent and tells Latifah that Uncle Rashid finally got what he deserved 20 years ago. Latifah is shocked at what Sophie has just done. And indeed, before visiting the prison, Sophie had visited Rashid first. She raged at how he roamed free while her biological father suffered as a result of his perversion. She unleashes vengeance upon him, ultimately murdering him. Nora was first to witness his bare dead body after returning home. But as Sophie returns home, a squadron of officers descend to arrest her. Her stepmom is in disbelief that her daughter would ever murder anyone. Sophie confesses to both murders. She asks her mom to forget her and to return to the UK. Cue heartbreaking montage of motherly love as they both break down.
Sayang Sophie. Selalu ada untuk Sophie. Sophie anak mak. Peranan Sophie sebagai anak mak akan berakhir di sini.
Honestly, right, I feel like Sophie's mom also needs hypnosis therapy at this point. Sometime later, Latifah's memoir is published. Not gonna lie, I have no idea when Sophie even had time to do this in between getting arrested and murdering people, but hey, it's as thick as a Harry Potter book and everyone's reading it. With it, Latifah is also released having been cleared of her crimes, though Sophie refuses to get the help of lawyers to help her with her case. We see her lying on the cold prison floor with nothing but the expression of contentment. And with that, you've TLDW'd Mencari Marina. Remember to like, share and subscribe!